Well, let's go ahead and segue to the basketball Kobe. I mean, he literally has a term.
Mamba.
Nope. Kobe! Anytime a shot goes up, we
That is
screaming
true.
Kobe,
That is true.
and we go keep screaming it.
And
Like
keep
there's no
screaming
other
it.
names that we're saying. We're not saying Jordan,
Right.
LeBron. Even though I'm a LeBron fan, and the crazy part is I wore this hoodie today. I got dressed this morning.
Before the news broke.
Yeah,
I just wore purple because
yeah. But yeah, we scream Kobe when we shoot the shot. You know, and that's partly because I mean he was one of the greatest.
right.
Like everything that he did, everything he shot. I mean, it was destined to
It
go
was
in.
going
It just
in.
seemed like he made everything at the hardest times to make them.
Right.
The ends of the game.
I remember one of his first games. It might have been his rookie year. We'll have to pull it up.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna pull up the Kobe.
They played
stats.
against somebody, and he took the last shot and he missed it. But the commentators were just going on and on about this kid has ice in his veins.
Mm-hmm.
No one else would. He's the only one on that court saying, "Give me the ball. I want the last shot."
Right.
And even though he missed it, there was just so much respect given because he wanted it, and he didn't miss a lot after that. What are you pulling up?
I'm pulling up Kobe's lifetime stats.
You're not mukbanging.
Yeah, I know.
Mukbang
It's
world.
hard. It's hard to eat. It's hard to mukbang
No.
when So he had 5 NBA championships. I knew that one. He got NBA Finals twice, or NBA Finals MVP twice.
Twice, yeah. Dunk contest.
He only got MVP of the league one time, which I did not know that.
I think I'm just now knowing this.
Like, he only got it one time. Most valuable player, one time.
Wow.
MVP Finals twice, but overall league, he only got it twice. Or one time, I'm sorry. 18 NBA All-Star appearances. He only played in 4 NBA he got 4 NBA All-Star game MVPs. 11 All-NBA first-team picks. He got 2 second-team picks, 2 third-team picks. These were on earlier years.
Right.
He
Didn't
got
he do
defensive
the-
player 9 times for the defensive first team. Won a dunk contest, 97. That was my Kobe
That was
year.
like one of his first years, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, he came in 96.
So that next year.
Yep.
Okay. Which might have been, because if he came in
It could have been the
the
same
summer
season,
of
technically.
96,
Right.
because February is usually All-Star game, so it
Right.
could have been.
So his rookie season. And then he got rookie second team, career stats, and LeBron just passed these points, but Kobe is 4th all-time, 33,643 points behind LeBron, Kareem and Karl Malone, 7,047 rebounds, 6,306 assists.
Wow.
2 Olympics, and 1 World Basketball.
And now
Tournament.
4th in total scoring, right?
4th in total scoring now. So
I mean, those are he did his thing.
a kid from Philly.
He did his thing.
Kid from Philly.
He did his thing.
So
And then just what we talked about a little bit on earlier, but I would like to talk about just hearing all these athletes and things like that, just the impact that he made within the NBA community. And like I said, not just the NBA, but the WNBA.
mm-hmm.
You have that but the sound clip from when LeBron got his passed him in a scoring title. If you go back to that interview and they ask him, what does Kobe Bryant mean to you? That literally could be his eulogy, which is eerie in thinking, but going back to when he was in high school and got a pair of shoes from him, all the way up to...
I remember that. It was a whole thing, too.
Yeah, and it was a size smaller.
Yeah.
And he played...
And they look like spaceships. I
So
remember
it was
those
like a
shoes.
10-minute interview, I think, and LeBron kind of went down the timeline. He's like, there's just so much more.
Right,
But I think at the
what
end,
people see.
than what they see.
Yeah.
But I think at the end is, I would just aspire to be like that because what he's done in this world of basketball is uncomparable.
Yeah. I was looking at an interview because I've been just Kobe'd out lately.
I think everybody has.
Like I've been going. So I was looking at it was a podcast by former player Gilbert Arenas, and it was one of Kobe's ex teammates. And people probably don't even know who he is. I know who he is because I'm a basketball head.
Yeah.
But his teammate's name was Karan Butler. So this guy got drafted, and he said that his first year in LA, Kobe had just like re-signed for like a huge deal. Like so, Kobe was making a lot of money, and it was the end of the season. They had just signed him in the NBA draft, Karan Butler, and he said that instead of Kobe going on vacation like he thought, he came in and he met all the players, and he was going to talk to Kobe, and then they were just going to go off and have their summer vacations. He said Kobe came up to him and was like, "Hey, 6 a.m. workouts tomorrow," and he looking like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, we're about to black out." He said, "You ready to black out?" And Karan Butler was like, "Wait, what? Black out?"
On the beach?
Like, yeah, exactly. And he's like, what you talking about? He said, instead of this dude who had just got paid, like paid, instead of him taking that money and going on a vacation, he went back to the gym.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
that's like one of my favorite stories, just because, and it's probably been looped 1,000 times, so you guys have probably already heard it, but it's my favorite. It's with Jason Williams. And he's an ESPN commentator now, but remember I said I was a big college fan. And so when he was at Duke, I was all things Jason Williams, Grant Hill, all those Duke boys. So Jason tells the story of when they were in like a playoff game, and Jason thought he was, big stuff because he went to the gym. He went to the arena ahead of everybody else. Like, he said, I guess it was like maybe like an hour or two ahead of time. And he walks in and there's Kobe. And Jason's like, I got it in for like an hour. And we got a game tonight, so I'm tying up my shoes and everything. This dude, Kobe, is still over there dribbling. And so he said after the game, he's like, I don't want to be that person, that young player that goes up to the veteran players just trying to be, in the spotlight or whatever. But he said, why were you still on the court like that? And he said he showed up and murdered them that night.
Yeah.
And Jason was kind of getting excited, like, this dude ain't gonna have this much energy when he come on the court tonight. And he said they got murdered. And Kobe said, I did that because I want you to know that no one will ever outwork me.
Yeah. Kobe has a million quotes, but the other one that he quoted was, you're either in my way or you're out my way.
Yep.
Like, he viewed either you're with me or you're against me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
It is great. I know that we've been spitting bars, really, with all his quotes, but I think what we have to give a fact to is that his quotes are powerful because he lived them.
Yeah.
His actions matched his words.
Exactly.
And you don't get that a lot. You have people knowing the greatest things to say, but not doing the greatest things, or doing the greatest things but not saying the best things.
Right.
But on both levels, he was one of a kind.
The follow through was on point every time.
Yeah, yeah. And what Jason was saying, that was on the court. Like, I'm going to outwork you. He said, but it was in life. It was as a family man. It was as a father. It was all these things. It was the same mentality.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Let's do some fun facts about Kobe. Did you know that he actually was born in Philly, but I think he grew up in
Italy?
He grew up in Italy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because his father played.
Look at you acting
basketball.
like you know what you talking about, Mama Bear. Yeah.
His father played basketball, and that's not even Googling it. This is just
off the dome.
Off the dome.
Man, look
but
at you.
yeah, he played basketball overseas,
Yep.
which is why I think too. We said it before, but I think it's worth saying again because I really hope that if it's not someone in the NBA, that there's another male in the sports world that will continue that advocacy for women and women in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And because he was kind of trailblazing that with the WNBA players and all those things. All that to say,
like the equal pay and stuff like that, equal endorsement,
Right.
Because their season, most people don't even know, it's almost the opposite of the NBA.
It's the opposite.
Just so that the TV time doesn't compete with the money.
Yeah. But I don't want anyone to say, how do you go from Italy to the WNBA? I say that because one of his friends growing up was Catchings.
Mm-hmm.
and she's a WNBA player. But I think some of that advocacy started with her, then also with his daughters, and so on and so forth. So I really hope that someone will continue that legacy of trailblazing equal opportunity in sports.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, actually, I didn't know this fun fact. Kobe was the first guard to be drafted by the NBA out of high school. So he was the first backcourt player, guard, to come out of high school. Before that, it was all
Big guys.
big guys. So they made it because, I mean, they were, big.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So he was the first guard. He played for the Lakers his entire career.
Who can say that?
Like his entire career. I'm
Right.
trying to think. Shaq definitely didn't do it. Yeah, Magic did it. Larry
Bird.
did it.
Stockton?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Stockton for sure.
Malone.
Karl Malone. But those are all like older players. Like anybody new now, like you're either going somewhere and getting a big contract, starting a super team,
Or finding out on Twitter you going somewhere else.
right? Or just towards the end of their career, they just, and then maybe that's because the NBA is just cutthroat now. Like they're like, we don't care if you played 16, 17 seasons here. Like you're not worth the money now. So
Yeah.
if you want to play this year, we probably go trade you.
Unfortunately, it's about that.
So he played his whole career for Los Angeles. Youngest player to ever start in an NBA game.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I'm sure it's like by some months. You know how they do
Probably.
like 18 years, 2 months, 14
Yeah.
days. He was named after the Kobe beef's Japanese steak.
Really?
Yeah. So
I didn't
Kobe
know
came
that.
from the Japanese snake. And his middle name is actually Bean. Kobe Bean.
Because
Bryant.
was his father like Jelly Bean or something like that?
Yeah, that was his nickname, yep.
Okay.
And then so his name was Kobe Bean Bryant. I never knew his middle name was Bean. He just Kobe. He's one of those people that you never need to say his last name.
It's just Kobe.
It's just Kobe.
Just Kobe.
That's when you made it. When they just call you the first name.
And I think, yeah. The only reason Michael isn't like that because Michael's so popular.
But they say Jordan.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's like it's either.
Oh,
that
you mean
first or-
his first name? Okay,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Because everyone's like, yeah, Michael. No, it's
Nah, it's
Jordan.
Jordan.
Kobe, Bron, Magic, Bird. Yeah. I mean, those
Yeah,
are the
no
fast
need.
ones off the top of my head.
No need.
Yeah. We knew that he grew up in Italy, but he actually grew up playing a lot of soccer. That's why he has the passion now
We
for
talked about
like the
that,
multi-sports. Yeah.
The relationships he has with professional soccer players.
Oh, yeah. So, a little bit about Kobe.
Legit, the real deal.
Man,
The real deal.
you know who the only player to score more points than him in a game was? You got to know this. If she doesn't know this, y'all, she knew that he grew up in Italy. Who was the only player to score? Because Kobe scored 81. There's only one player that scored more than him.
I don't know. Is it an old person?
Old person.
Oh, Wilt.
Yeah, Wilt.
Well, here's the thing. For some reason, I thought that 81 game was in high school.
Did you?
I did. I don't know.
You
why
want to
I
know the
thought that.
crazy thing? I watched the 81 game not knowing it was going to be history.
Who did they play?
No idea. Let me look.
I know that his last game he had 60 points.
Yeah.
Which is-
And that one was crazy too. You know how much the tickets were that game?
Yeah, astronomical.
Like,
Did you ever get to see him play like at the Cavs game or anything?
never got to see him play.
Craziest story. I was doing some work in Arizona, and one of my colleagues, her husband owns a company, and their company had tickets to the Phoenix Suns game, and they played the LA Lakers that day. And so myself and a couple other colleagues got to go, and we got to see him play in person, and some really good seats too. So
It was the Raptors.
that
06.
81.
Yeah, 81. He dropped on the Raptors in 06. That's
That is
crazy.
Nuts.
And Wilt did the 100 in 1962.
Okay.
I wasn't even on Earth yet.
Me either, contrary to popular belief.
Shoot, neither was Kobe.
No,
But
not even
81
thought of.
points,
But 81 points is in the NBA.
In the NBA, the top.
And I don't think that. I think NBA players get a bad rap because
Yeah.
we had to look at it as NBA is the business.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball is the sport.
Yep.
And yes, it's lucrative. It's about money. It's about jerseys, ticket sales, and all those things. But these people, players love this game.
Yeah.
Like, it's a work of art. It's poetic. It's movement. All those things. And I think that that's not shed light on enough. But I think Kobe was one of those persons that, he loved the game. He loved being great. He loved being the best and at his caliber. But he actually loved the game of basketball.
Yeah. He did. That's crazy. But, it's been a crazy couple days.
It's been rough. It's been interesting watching the world grieve. It's been interesting just even thinking about it, and like how we were talking on Monday about just generations and just what Kobe means to Generation Z versus what it means to the millennials.
Yeah.
It's all different, but still influential and impacting. And from this, I'm glad that we took the time to shed light, because rightly so. But I just really hope that that sense of impact and influence comes through of what we really want people to think about.
Yeah. So you were in a grocery store when you found out?
That Kobe Bryant died? No, where was I? I was on my way to a friend's house for lunch on Sunday, and we were in a group chat, and someone said Kobe Bryant died. But it had the article with TMZ.
Right. Well, when I first read the headline, I said, "Look at this."
Listen, and
foolery.
I'm not trying to be like mean, but I saw TMZ, so I was like, fake news.
Right.
Like, so I feel bad
you hit
about
him with that
like,
Donald Trump.
But
fake news.
Fake news. But when I started seeing CNN and ESPN and everything else, I'm like, oh, this hurts. This hurts.
Yeah, I was actually walking in a couple retail stores, and literally, like, when I saw it, the article had dropped, I think it was 9 minutes. And no one and I had to check, I immediately went to Twitter, and it was the TMZ article, and I don't know how they got it that fast, but I didn't see anything on Twitter yet. I didn't see anything on Instagram, and I immediately go to the TMZ, and I'm like, this is not real. A few minutes later, not even a few, probably a minute later, Twitter timeline started going, and that's when you knew it was real.
And at what time was that on Sunday? Like, our time?
Our time, Eastern Standard Time, that probably was around 2,
and they
2:30.
And what's the difference, do you know?
3, should be 3 hours difference, right? So
it's about 11 their time.
11 their time.
And they said it happened at 10.
Around 10.
So it may be an hour that his family
the one guy
knew?
said it was right before 10, he heard a helicopter fly by. He thought it was normal, and then he heard it actually kind of going down. And that was like before 10.
And you got to wonder, was the helicopter identified before the bodies were identified?
Right. Like, so, I'm sure they have some sort of tag that they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
like a black box.
Right. So when it went down, they were like, well, what helicopter is this? What number? And somebody had to put 2 and 2 together. Like, whoa, that's Kobe Bryant's helicopter,
Yeah. But still, like we talked about earlier, just that's an hour, if that, between your family knowing and the world knowing.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. But, I definitely will be just kind of looking back on Kobe, probably all for the rest of this week.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's a surreal moment, and as you get older, like, these are people that you grew up watching, and that's what makes it really weird, because we've seen him. He's been in the spotlight more so than out of the spotlight.
Right.
Like, we didn't really know, the world didn't know Kobe from 0 to 18.
Right.
But from 18 to 41, which is more so than
Gen Zers.
Yeah.
They don't know life without him.
Exactly. So that's all we've known him the majority of his life.
Right.
So I definitely will be, shook from this, and it definitely puts a value on time and makes you, because us as humans, we don't realize how fragile life is.
And I think
and
that
it's fleeting.
We would never come out and say it, but in some ways we think we're immortal. Mm-hmm. No one would ever just come out and say that, but we kind of live life like that. So that's why I hope people really took our challenge on Monday seriously, just to say, start living in your purpose and what do you want to leave on this earth. One of the interviews on Sunday when I was watching was with Spike Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, yeah, I'm going to the Knicks game and with my son, and I'm going to come home, hug my son, hug my other kids, and my wife.
Yeah.
This is how I'm processing it. Like, life is but a vapor.
Yeah, and it can be gone.
So, I'm just happy that he had the influence in a positive way.
Yeah. Do you think it's we view it, and it's hard for us, like you were saying, like the immortal thing? Is it our preservation mindset, the way people always try to avoid dangers or avoid risky situations? So, do you even think we have the capacity to even kind of rationalize it, like, man, I could be gone tomorrow, so I should make the best out of today?
Right.
Because I feel like a lot of people get stuck in those moments where it's like, this is the worst moment ever, instead of understanding that tomorrow you can change this moment. You know what I mean?
Or in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
you
in
can
10
change.
minutes you can change this
Yeah.
moment. Yeah, you
I
might
think
be going
it's,
through something now, but tomorrow is a different day,
Yeah.
and you may not get tomorrow.
Right, and I think it's not, we can't go super deep yet.
Right.
Because the family doesn't know us yet. But I think it's that question of eternity, right? Because a lot of people don't want to think about it because they haven't identified with somewhere that they want to go, or if they even think that
There is
somewhere to go.
Yeah.
All those things, not to be like super, religious or anything like that, but I think a lot of those things add to our perspective of living life on purpose.
Right, yeah.
And then just as humans, by nature, we're just selfish, right?
That is
so
true.
you kind of just walk around like, I'll do it tomorrow,
Right, yeah.
and not having tomorrow. And where's the balance, right? Because you don't want everyone going around like, oh, I'm leaving tomorrow. You don't want that stress on you, but you also don't want the stress of it could never happen to me.
Yeah.
So I think it's a balance, and I think this would be a fun topic to talk about with our fellow Gen Zers. Through the course of our times together coming forward. But for this week, it's just been tough. It's been eye-opening in a lot of realms of just purpose. And
so what do we want them to do? We want them to comment your first memory of Kobe, like when you figured out who Kobe was.
Yeah.
If you were a fan, if he was the enemy.
Right.
Was he the person that always put your team out of the playoffs? Because I remember, like, being a 76ers fan, that iconic when he throws the oop to Shaq and he dunks it, like all of those times, that's where they beat. I think they beat the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, they just punch you in the gut. Yeah.
Or I may be misquoting. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they faced the 76ers that year and obliterated Iverson and Theo Ratcliffe and Eric Snow, and that was my team. So I was like, dang it, Kobe and Shaq. You know what I mean? So comment.
Your favorite memory.
Your favorite memory of Kobe, or,
Or if you have discovered what your purpose is. Either way.
Yeah. Or even a famous Kobe quote, because, I mean, he has a lot of them. And I would encourage you guys to definitely take on the Mamba mentality. It's something that is transcending sports. It's not just for sports, but it's definitely for business.
And I think the remainder of this month, please keep sending us quotes. But this month, we're going to dedicate our quotes of the day to Kobe.
Yeah. Should we do Mamba Month? Ooh.
Mamba Month.
See how when you come up with a good name, it can just go with everything.
With anything and everything.
So whoever can comment how he got the name Black Mamba or what it means.
That'd be a good one too.
That'd be a good one.
But we're definitely, as for Gen Z, we are not letting the legacy and memory of Kobe Bryant die, and we are thankful for just the impact he had on us as individuals and in the world. It's definitely inspirational. To what he does, and what I think just anyone knowing the story, it should drive them to want to do better.
Oh yeah.
So.
But yeah, we can leave them on that note, right?
I think we can end.
Yeah.
We can.
So, I mean, as always, we leave you with blessings and love, but instead of just peace today, we go throw up the 2-4. Be great.
Have a good week, y'all.